Good evening, everyone. I'm Carl John Galindo from De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, here for your late night chill time. Mamaya ng baby time because this will be informative, interactive, and wala na ako ibang pang maisip na rhyme. Pasensya na guys. Pandemic really changed us in a lot of ways. First is that we can't go out, of course. Second is we students are forced to study in a setup where we don't learn as much as we did back before pandemic happens. We can't really give our 100% attention because our environment is not supposed to be a learning environment. Rather, our home is our rest, comfort, and we don't do that much here inside. Maybe sleep, do household chores, and makipag-away sa kapatid. So the question is, how do we learn at online classes? Minsan ba napapatanong kayo if may natututunan pa ba kayo after classes? Yeah, that's me too. It's called metacognitive as we think about thinking. There are two perspectives in learning, but I'm feeling generous and maybe add another one as we consider it. Don't worry, I'll talk about one of them, so let's just chill. Let's start talking about behaviorist perspective. I'm not gonna give you a hard time understanding it, so here we go. Basically, this perspective talks about the stimulus response principle. If may pinakita sa'yo, ano ang magiging reaction mo? How do behaviorists see that you're learning? If there's a change in behavior, you are definitely learning. First theory, classical conditioning or Pavlovian conditioning ay isang theory na nagsasabing kapag nasasanay ka sa isang bagay o aksyon, sa dulo ay aasa ka kapag ginawa nilang certain action na yun. For example, kapag ang crush mo ay naglalaro ng ML, parang wala lang yun sa'yo. Pero pag naglalaro siya, habang kakol ka every single night, the next time na maglalaro siya, aasa ka na magkakol kayo. Playing Mobile Legend is the neutral stimulus and calling or ang pagtawag is the unconditioned stimulus resulting to unconditioned response. And when repeatedly done, it will turn out as a conditioned stimulus and conditioned response. Pavlov used it to a dog where he rings a bell and give food to the dog. Now when the dog hears the bell, nagsistart na siyang ma-excite at maglaway dahil nakondisyon na siyang merong food after bell. Second theory is Connectionism theory by Edward Lee Thorndike. Says that there are three major laws. One is the law of readiness. Kapag pinaghandaan mo, matututunan mo. Law of exercise. Practice lang. And lastly, law of effect. Positive actions equals positive results. Kapag handa kang matuto, you set up your environment na walang distractions. You can learn kahit online classes pa yan. For you to retain information and put it to practice, there's law of exercise. And law of effect, as the name suggests, pag may ginawa ka for that certain subject, it will definitely affect the result or your learning. Third theory is operant conditioning by BFS. Burroughs Frederick Skinner or BFS, boyfriend for sale, joke lang ha, ay nagsasabing mayroong dalawang bagay ang maaaring makapagbigay sa'yo ng learning. Ito ang reinforcement to increase behavior and punishment to decrease behavior. Kapag ikaw ay pinagalitan, specifically inalisan ng gamit or gadgets para makapag-focus, lalo na sa studies, that's reinforcement. Specifically, negative reinforcement. Kapag ikaw naman ay nilibre ng tropa mo para di mo na balikan yung ex mo, kulit mo kasi marupok ka, that's a punishment, specifically positive punishment. Now, I'm gonna add on the behaviorist perspective. Literally, dadagdagan natin ang word na neo sa unahan and call it neo perspective. This perspective bridges the gap between behaviorist and cognitivist perspectives. First theory is purposive behaviorism by Edward Tolman. Says that your behavior comes from your motivation or lahat ng ginagawa mo, may rason behind it. Hindi ka naman basta-basta magagalit sa kapatid mo or kaibigan mo ng ganun-ganun lang. You show that certain behavior because there's a reason behind it. May purpose. Example ay pinaplano mo kung saan kayo dadaan ng kadate mo habang nagda-drive ka. Iniisip mo kung paano ka makakapunta sa paroroonan nyo, and that's called cognitive mapping. Mayroon kang mental sketch sa kung saan at papaano kayo makakarating doon. Latent learning is you only bringing out what you've learned when the situation demands for it. Huwag kang bida-bida. Second theory is social learning theory by Albert Bandura. is learning by looking, watching, imitating, and modeling. Definition in a nutshell. Remember ARMM. Attention. You focus on what's the topic or what you will be modeling. R for retention, or tatandaan mo yung kung ano yung nakita mo. M for motor reproduction, or isinasagwa mo para ma-retain yung nakita mo. And lastly, motivation. Ito yung dahilan bakit mo ginagawa lahat ng nabanggit. May it be dahil ayaw mo bumagsak or may ginagaya kang certain person. We have to consider motivation when it comes to this theory, as it separates behaviorism to neo-behaviorism, dahil ang motivation is something na naiisip or nasa cognitive aspect ng learning. If matatandaan nyo na ang neo-behaviorism ay integration ng behaviorist perspective and cognitive perspective. Can you still absorb? Now, we have different style of learning, and not only one style is applicable to all. I believe that everyone has his or her own style of learning. The only thing that I want you to remember is that learning should be fun as you discover yourself more and more. Wow, twice. Once you know how you learn, you will have a deep connection with yourself. And you'll have a sense of your subconscious thinking. Mga kapatid, naniniwala ako na when you put your effort into what you're doing, may it be studying or your passion, kakayanin mong mag-improve at umangat pa. I want your future self to thank you for taking these necessary steps on growing. Carl John Galindo, your late night chill time boy, is signing out. Good talk, everyone.